Now, what product science really is, it's pretty simple. It is a skill for you to be able to understand the customer. And that should be your core competency, that you know who your customer are, you know your market, and you are able to basically solve that problem, which would make your product successful as well as customers will love. The moment you are able to ground yourself to these three traits, to be able to understand the customer, to be able to uh, identify what would make customers love your product, and identify business opportunities from there, that is all you need to focus on, instead of so much noise which would keep going around you, because you may be able to execute something, but if you're not grounded on what truly the ask was, it may become harder. Now, as we discuss this, if you have access to the chat, maybe start also sharing about, have you really ever done a customer interview or a customer discussion? It does not need to be really formal, where you really inviting someone and chatting, but surely in terms of, if you are working in, let's say, hyperlocal space, do you go and talk to 10 shopkeepers or kirana stores every month? If you're working for, let's say, a mobility company like Ola or Uber, do you really talk to your drivers or your customers every week? Or it can be, if you work in any other industry, it may apply to you in different way. But the goal over here is just to see that you don't end up focusing too much on the features, that, hey, just because my competitor launched SOS button, I should also launch SOS button. That should not be your motivation. Your motivation should be that I spoke to my customers, they have a problem about safety, and something like an SOS button will help them, and you know why they need an SOS button, how they will discover the SOS button, and how they will press it. And that's where you start with user first, really, to define the problems, that what problems do they have. Okay, they have a problem that when they are in a taxi, they don't feel comfortable sometimes based on the driver's behavior. Okay, what is my target audience? My target audience is people who are traveling late at night. My target audience can be people under 18, kids who are commuting alone and parents are worried. It can be women traveling alone from their workspace late in the evening. uh, Once you are able to define your target audience, you are able to move forward. Okay, what my vision is really, and then you basically go down. Don't start from features, because the moment you decide that, hey, oh, my CEO told me that we need an SOS button, so let's get an SOS button done, that's where the problem happens, and that's where the feature is bound to fail in some senses. It may still be used if people need it, but it would not be a feature that customers would actually end up learning. So in summary, irrespective of domain you work on, try to identify who your customer is and what problem you are solving, and then apply all those principles on strategy as well as features and design and language and colors and so on.